to the Academic Success Crash Course series presented by the Office of Academic Skills at Washington College. Today's video is What do grades really mean? And we will go into detail about the what, the why, and the how of GPAs and grades. On the left, you have the different percents. The numbers here are general, so you always want to make sure that you check your syllabus for each professor's grading scale. They do differ slightly. So you see 94 to 100 can be an A or an A+, and that translates to a 4.0 in your GPA, or a 76 to a 79% is typically a C+, which is a 2.33 in your GPA. Grades are like another language. On each assignment, you earn a letter or a number grade, and then all the assignments add up to your final grade, which is a letter, but then it's translated into a different number for your GPA. Why does this matter? Well, a 70% isn't necessarily a bad grade, depending on the class and your personal goals, but it's a C-, not a C, which is what we typically think of when we hear 70%. So that 70% is a C- and becomes a 1.67 in your GPA. This is a number below academic standards. All students have to have at least a 2.0 GPA to graduate. Your GPA is the average of all of your grades in all of your semesters. So one C- won't sink you. So how does GPA really work? Look at the last set of grades you got. Depending on when you're watching this, maybe you got midterm grades or maybe it's your final grades from last semester. And I'll take you through an example. First, you have your grades. B+, B-, C+, B, B+, and a 2-credit class where you got an A-. So you want to figure out what those grades mean on a GPA scale. So here they are with the GPA points. But we can't just add these up and divide by the 5 classes because one of my classes only has 2 credits and the rest are worth the standard 4 credits. So now we get to do some extra math. I multiplied the grade points that I figured out for my letter grades by the number of credits the course is. So for history, 2.67 times 4 credits equals 10.68 grade points. I do that for each class, and then I add them all up. Notice how the music course is much less because it's only worth 2 credits. And then I take that total that I got, which is 52.66, and divide it by the total credits and find that my GPA is 2.925, which is nearly a B average. So what I just did was take my grades from letters to numbers and back to letters. Now let's talk about how your grade is formed in each class. Everything you turn in or do for a class is actually weighted differently. It's worth more than just the grade, so you want to pay attention to this, especially at the point in the semester when you have grades to compare it against. So let's look at a couple examples, and these are things that you would find in your syllabus. Let's say that in one of your classes, your online homework assignments are worth 10%, participation and attendance is 15%, your first exam is worth 15% of your grade, so are exam 2 and 3, and your cumulative final exam is worth 30% of your final grade. So you know that your exams are all worth more than your online assignments, but your participation gives you the same amount of credit as each of your exams other than your final grade. In another class, maybe you have to do Canvas discussions, and altogether, the ones you do across the whole semester are worth 35 points. Your class participation is worth 5 points. Maybe you do 2 essay workshops worth 2 points, or 1 each. 2 preparation essays, 18 points, and so on. Your faculty might list how the grade is weighted differently, so it's always important to pay attention to each grade in each class and compare each class to one another. How can this knowledge help you? Well, if you need to focus more on one class, like bringing up a grade to passing or raising a grade in your major, determining if you can't pass a class, or if you need to drop a class to focus attention on another one. Obviously, you need to discuss dropping courses with your advisor. You need their signature anyway. This can also help you put your energy in the right place. Noticing that your papers combined are worth as much as your exams can help you if you're a better writer than a test taker, or if the papers are worth a lot less, then spend a lot less time on them and put a lot of time into preparing for the test, such as meeting with tutors, academic tutors, your faculty, etc. Having this information can help you adjust your expectation. If you're halfway through the semester, look at the percent of your grade that's left to be earned. It isn't usually 50% halfway through the semester. It's usually more like 60 or 70% of the grade, so you can still make a huge difference in your grades, for better or worse. We also typically think that exams are worth the most, or put the most pressure on ourselves, but that's not always the case, so taking a look at how that grade is weighted might help relieve some stress. Your GPA is important for a lot of reasons. As a first-year student, it might not seem important, but you should definitely be thinking about internships and other experiences where a GPA can help you stand out. Your GPA becomes even more important as you progress. The other side of it is academic standing. Like I said before, you have to have a 2.0 to graduate, and if you are below that, you'll be placed on academic probation. But probation isn't really a bad thing because they have a program in place to help you recover academically, but it also means you'll have ground to catch up on to be eligible to graduate. One of the rough things about GPAs is that they're grade point averages. You have a semester GPA, but you also have a cumulative GPA. So let's talk through an example of our cumulative GPAs. Let's look at the first example. Say the first semester you get a 1.5, and your second semester you get a 2.0. Now your cumulative GPA is a 1.75, assuming that you took the same number of credits, semester 1 and 2. Now let's say in your third semester you get a 3.0. Your cumulative GPA goes up to a 2.16. The more credits you have, the less each grade impacts. That's how averages work. But let's see that in action in example 2. Let's say that through semesters 1 through 3, your cumulative GPA is a 2.0. Then in your fourth semester, you get a 4.0. That brings your cumulative GPA up to a 2.5. See how you would normally think that 4.0 would shoot your GPA up a lot more? You did make a lot of progress, but because of averages and the number of credits you've already earned, it might not have as big of an impact as you'd expect. Some other things to remember about your GPA. Transfer credits don't impact your GPA at all. They don't factor in. They're just credits. In your GPA, you can retake classes. You can check the student handbook for more information about that. When you retake a class, at WAC, you replace the grade. There's a certain number of courses you're allowed to do this with, and you don't want to rely on it, obviously, because it's retaking classes and taking more time. While it doesn't impact your GPA, say you're in semester 3 and you're retaking a class from your first semester GPA is not going to change, but you will see a big difference in your cumulative GPA. This can and should be done in some cases. Strategically, talk to your academic advisor. Grades can be like another language. So whenever you get a grade, whether it's one assignment, or you're looking at your grade for the semester so far, or it's a midterm grade or your final grade, translate it. If it's an assignment and you got 10 out of 15 points on it, what percent is that? What letter grade is it? What would that be in a GPA? If you earned 87% on an exam, what letter grade is that? What does it mean to your GPA? And then when you have a 3.2 GPA, what letter is that? What percent does that represent? Looking at this grade information from multiple ways can be helpful to fully understanding the weight or significance of the grade to our goals in that class, that semester, or our cumulative GPA. Each grade on assignments or exams in class can be weighted differently or worth more than other assignments. Make sure you pay attention to this in your syllabus and as you prioritize your time and efforts. Our cumulative GPAs tell the average story of our college career. The more credits you earn, the less impact each grade has on your GPA. That's good news if you earn a grade lower than what you wanted, it might not have as much of a negative impact as you were thinking. On the opposite side, if you're trying to raise your GPA, a good grade might not increase your GPA as much as you hoped in the long run. Do the math each semester to set goals for each of your classes, your semester GPA, and your cumulative GPA, and make sure that those goals are aligned. If you would like to go into more detail, please visit the Office of Academic Skills webpage and make an appointment with an academic skills tutor.